So Euros are around the corner. Actually, it started. Who
Yeah.
do we got? Who do we got winning?
You know what's funny is I actually had I had England because I like England because I'm a fan of like Foden. I'm a fan of like not Harry Kane, but I like the players in England like Bellingham, Saka. But like the way they've been playing, like today, because we're recording on Thursday, they just played Denmark a few hours ago, and they looked really bad that game. Like they were turning the ball over a lot. So I don't even know. So before the tournament, I had England, but now I think it might be like Germany or Spain. Like they're looking pretty good.
I think I got France. I'm not gonna lie. Like I know like a lot of people wouldn't like this answer, but like France has like the best squad. On paper, they probably have the best
I
squad.
don't know. I think England.
No, England has the best squad, like a great squad on paper. Only issue is their manager.
So yeah, Southgate is Deschamps is a much better manager than Southgate. I'll give you that because you know what in the World Cup in 2022, the England versus France game, and I think it was a quarterfinal. Bro, how do you not play
I was
Rashford?
pissed.
I've been, if you ask our friend group, they'll tell you I've been talking about this like over almost 2 years now. Literally, how do you not play Rashford over Foden? Like he was in the best form of his life. He had a sick free kick against Iran, or I think it was Iran, or no, I think it was Iran. He had a sick free kick, right? So how do you play a guy that literally didn't score the entire tournament over a guy that was in really good form before the World Cup, during the World Cup, and he was arguably the best striker in the world alongside Holland for like 4 months after the World Cup.
And I'm not gonna lie. Here's my logic. I feel like England just can't win. Like they're not like
Yeah,
they have a great
yeah,
team, but they just can't win. Like
yeah.
they have a great starting line, starting 11. They have a good bench, but they just can't win. Right?
Yeah.
So surely their manager is a big issue.
Yeah, no, the manager needs like I don't like saying people should lose their jobs, but bro, like
Sack him.
bro, it's been how many years now, and England hasn't brought home a title yet. They've arguably had the best team on paper alongside France for the
Yeah,
last like almost
yeah.
10 years now. So
Yeah.
like that's crazy. But it's funny is actually to be fair, I didn't watch the France versus I think it was I forget who they played 2 days ago, but France also barely won against the team they played a couple days ago. So it's like both England and France, the teams that look like they like. If you look at any betting site, they had England and France as like 1 and 2, like, and everyone else is like a bit higher, lower odds. So you go down, but Germany and Spain, like the hosts and Spain look like they're doing pretty well. But you know what? There's a lot of teams that are like not as good that you don't think that like are should be playing that well, but they're playing well. Like Denmark, I think they slapped up Slovenia and they tied England today. So that's a team I feel like should be on the lookout for because you know what? They haven't like no one's ever looked at Denmark and went like, oh, that's a really good squad. But after these two matches,
Ericsson take over.
who?
Ericsson.
Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what's funny though? Christian Eriksen was the one that gave up the goal against England. That one goal, yeah. I think
I didn't watch the game, so I wouldn't know. But
Yeah. But
he's a sick player.
yeah, so I think the Euros. I mean, what I think everyone's been saying, and I agree, is that the games have been super entertaining. Like the game this morning, the one at I think 9 a.m. or 9 a.m. Slovenia versus Serbia. The Slovenia I think led the game after halftime, and Serbia tied it at 90 plus 5. So they tied the game literally right before the game was over. So if you look at how entertaining this Euros is, I feel like low key, because if you think back to even the Euros 3 years ago in England, that Euros, like literally everyone was talking about it. Because like England was playing very well, Italy was playing crazy, and the final game, like it was a really tight game against England and Italy ended up winning. And I feel like so far this Euros has lived up to the hype. Like I feel like both European tournaments have been really really good, which I think we love to see. And also my observation is, I've been talking about this with a lot of people, especially the people that we work with, because a lot of people that we work with are actually really good, really good soccer heads. And I've said that I feel like if you compare this era to any other era in international football, I feel like the door is wide open because in 2018 and 2022 we had so many upsets. Like Brazil, okay, Brazil beat South Korea like 7-0 or something, and they got slapped up by Croatia the next game. Whereas, and I think Spain lost Japan and they got knocked out, and Germany lost to South Korea too. So how like stuff like that you would never even think about 20 years ago. Like when Messi and Ronaldo were like young players, that would never happen.
Yeah,
like you
for
knew
sure.
exactly like the teams
Like,
that made the final.
Yeah, exactly. Brazil, England.
Yeah,
you know,
like oh yeah, they're traditionally powerhouses, but like now, literally the semifinals of last year's World Cup had two like traditionally strong teams in France and in Argentina, but you had Croatia and Morocco, who Croatia's been a really good team the last 6, 7, 8 years, but I would never say that Croatia's been a historically powerhouse team. And Morocco literally is like a team that just came up out of the ground the last couple years. Yet they've made the semifinals, and rightfully so. They played amazing football at that tournament. And I feel like my thing is that I feel like even our team, Canada is the best. This is the best team you've ever had in Canadian football history. And I'm like, this is so fun to watch because now it gets kind of boring when you always see Germany, Italy, France, and Spain just like dominate and stuff like that. But now we get to see like teams that like Japan and South Korea and Morocco and Croatia that are like dominating the stages. So I feel like that's a pretty interesting observation. What do you think about that?
I think here's my I'm gonna start with one of your earlier points when you were talking about England, France aren't playing that well right now. I think I'm not gonna lie, since it's group stages, you can't really tell.
Yeah.
This is my kind of this is my logic behind it. When you look at Argentina, right?
Yeah.
Argentina, they lost to Saudi Arabia.
The first game, yeah.
Their first game they played, they lost to Saudi Arabia, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at them the rest of their season, they played like absolute they played
really good,
demons.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? They went crazy every single game they played. So I'm not gonna lie, I think the factor behind why a lot of teams play a lot of the good teams play worse in group stages is because they know they're one of the better teams. Yeah. Right? Like France knows they're the best team in their group. England knows they're the best team in their group.
Yeah.
So I feel like when you already have that high head, right? And you go into a game, especially a game of soccer, you could get overwhelmed so quick because all these other lower level, or you could say lower level countries, worse,
objectively worse,
worse soccer teams. Yeah. Those guys go into these games being like, we're the underdogs. Let's go crazy. Let's try
they give it their all. Yeah,
right.
True.
And they give it their all. Right. Yeah. And that's why I think you could never really predict the Euros because literally England out of nowhere could just play like demons, right? Yeah. Like it doesn't have sure, we're saying Southgate's bad, whatever. And don't get me wrong, I don't think he's doing the best as a manager right now. But England as a team is very good. Yeah. And I think the point when the Euros is, because I think once group stages are over and it goes to the round of 16.
Yeah, the knockouts. Right?
Everybody's going to be super, super competitive, super, they're going to go in there with that mentality to win. Right. And I feel like at that point, we might see a turnaround in the teams that, now everyone's predicting, Germany's going to win, Spain's going to win because they came into the tournament, right? Different. They came into the tournament on smoke. Yeah,
that's true. Because if you look at the past results, Spain and Germany have underperformed the last 2-3 dominant, like Euro 2020, last World Cup, and the last two international tournaments, Germany has been knocked out. Well, Germany made it to the knockouts in the last Euros, but they got knocked out of the knockouts. And no, not even that. The World Cup before, the last one or the one before that in Russia,
they got sent home.
Yeah, so which is I think is probably the reason why I think Germany on smoke. Plus, they're also the host too, and they can't be playing trash from their home crowd. And that's a pretty good point. Yeah, I agree with that. And also, I remember watching. I was eating breakfast while watching the England versus Denmark game because I had a late breakfast. But I remember the announcers on I was watching on TSN, and they were saying how, to be fair, Southgate has so much talent to work with that I feel like in the group stages, I think he's just experimenting and seeing which lineups work the best. So I think that adds to your point. To be fair, France and England, and they were even saying too, it's England looked very relaxed. They weren't even though it was a draw and they were dropping points by letting it be a draw. They didn't even look like they were concerned. They're just playing regular soccer. And I think that's because they kind of know it's okay, if push comes to shove, we're just gonna lock in, probably get a couple goals, and we'll be fine. I think, and maybe I'm and this is so we were just saying Southgate's a bad manager, but I think this is now we're trying to save his job, quote unquote, if anyone even cares about what we have to say, is I think honestly his approach now is he's just trying to figure out, because he has so much talent, Arnold and Bellingham in the midfield is already two of the best passers in football right now. Yeah. And he's just trying to figure out which formation and what lineups work the best. And I kind of agree with that. It's that's a pretty good observation.
Because he's been trying a more central approach, right? Not using the wings as much.
Yeah, again, I'm not a football savant, but the way it looks like to me is that England has played very passively. They haven't like their presses haven't been very effective. They haven't been very dominant. They've just been kind of playing with the ball. They've been kind of moving it around, but they haven't really had like on the ball pressure
Mm.
like you probably seen in other matches, maybe the Euros and the World Cup, where they actually play with pressure. England's been playing pretty relaxed, and
Yeah, for sure.
I think I'd be shocked if that was to continue moving forward, because I feel like um England and France will probably make it to the knockout stages. But here's the thing: France is actually in a pretty sick. They're in the same group as Netherlands. I think they're playing the Netherlands. I think tomorrow or Saturday.
It's gonna be a
Saturday.
great game.
That's gonna be a crazy game. Like
Yeah.
Netherlands have been on smoke the last couple weeks. Like
Mhm.
they've been like beating teams left and right. They beat Canada like 5-0, I think,
Yeah.
like the last week. So they've been playing very
Yeah.
well. And I think it's moving forward. It's gonna be interesting seeing how these different teams kind of match up and how they
For
play
sure.
and whatnot. So
So, one thing coming out soon when we're talking about soccer, the Blue Lock movie is coming out.
I heard about that. Yeah, I heard
I
about
feel
that.
like every single time there's some crazy soccer event going on in the real world is when Blue Lock just pulls up out of nowhere and they're
100%.
like,
Yo, Japan Blue Lock 2 years ago was crazy.
yeah, for sure. And literally, like, remember when they were talking about, oh, like Japan's playing so well and Blue Lock was like
Project Blue Lock.
happening? Yeah, Project Blue Lock,
Yeah.
same time, right? I'm not gonna lie, it was crazy.
Well,
It was actually
They
crazy.
beat Spain. They
'Cause
beat
they were-
other teams. Yeah, it's crazy.
And literally, like the resemblances that you could see within Blue Lock and Japan was crazy. Japan was never like a team that you'd be worried about, right?
I mean, in the Asian countries, Japan and South Korea have always been kind of the top two
Yeah,
dogs. Like they've
but, like,
always been dominant.
worldwide?
But yeah, in terms of global dominance, like you've never played Japan and been like historically been like, okay, I'm like if you're a Germany, Brazil, Argentina, even historically Uruguay with like when they had Prime Suarez and Prime Cavani, like those teams historically, if they played Japan back in the day, they'd be like, okay, well they're an okay team, but if you play properly, we're gonna win. But now you got to be on your A game, because
Yep.
the thing is, Japan plays with like they play with pace, they play with like they have stamina too, and it's like
They got Blue Lock's real in Japan.
it
And
is.
that's what they're saying.
It is. It's
like
real.
Project Blue Lock is real in Japan. That's why they're getting so good.
Like, and I'll bring it back to you. Like, so Slam Dunk is, I believe, still is the most popular sports manga ever in Japan, and that came out largely when Michael Jordan was like at his peak, and like when basically Jordan kind of brought the basketball game to like the global stage, and Slam Dunk came out when Jordan was already kind of big in Japan already, because everyone kind of knew, oh, that's Michael Jordan, because he's so good. And you could even say Slam Dunk, because now you have players like Rui Hachimura, and you have like some good Japanese, like the Japanese basketball culture has improved drastically over the last decade, and I feel like that's in large part. Maybe we can say that anime and media culture in general has positively influenced the sports culture in Japan.
sure.
Because look at this. Who's the best baseball player in the world? And me and you don't even follow baseball properly. Like, we barely know.
Otani.
He's this guy's a demon.
He's a demon.
So good at baseball. And I don't know any baseball mangas or anime.
There's that Diamond. I forgot what it's called.
Diamond Ace or something.
Yeah, something like that,
Yeah, well, again, we don't really watch that stuff too heavily, but honestly, I want to say I feel like anime, low-key sports anime and manga might be the best motivation tool for the Japanese people of all time.
So what's your GOAT sports anime?
It's a good debate. So, I'll say what I've seen. I've seen Haikyuu. I've seen Kuroko. I've watched a bit of Hajime no Ippo, the boxing anime. But this is what I'll say. Okay, so
Blue Lock.
I actually haven't seen Blue Lock.
Okay.
So, but
Okay.
I kind of know a little bit what it's about. I haven't seen it though, so I'm gonna leave it out of my rankings. Even though I know a lot of you might have Blue Lock as your number one, but no disrespect. But I feel like I haven't seen it, so I can't judge. But my personal best anime of all time, like my personal favorite, is gonna be Kuroko, and that's because Kuroko, to me, it is not realistic at all. It's like the most unrealistic sports anime. Whereas you can see Haikyuu is the most realistic. It has the most deep story. Not deep story, but like it has, some compelling characters. Everyone's kind of involved. But the reason why I like Kuroko is because it's like if you took Naruto or Bleach or like Jujutsu Kaisen or like a Demon Slayer, and you took what made those animes good and you put it into a sports anime. Because like the main characters all have crazy power-ups. And I'm like, you know what? I don't really care that much that they are like hyper realistic. I just care about like having a nice meal and just being entertained for 20 minutes.
Yeah, just watch someone pull from full court.
Like if you watch Aomine and Kagami in the zone battle, bro, that was like 5 minutes just action. Like
Or
it was-
Kisei transforming into
into a perfect almost copy.
yeah.
Like I'm telling you, like listen, it isn't the best story. a lot of it's like kind of bland, but when it comes to action, bro, Kuroko's on like unmatched.
For sure. I think, okay, if you look at it entertainment wise, I agree with you. Kuroko is probably the best. I'd put Blue Lock close to Kuroko because Blue Lock right now is also pretty pretty big, pretty sick.
Yeah,
like if you were to watch it,
yeah.
you kind of understand.
I've seen them scene. I
Right?
feel like a lot of the Blue Lock characters have some resemblance to like a lot of the Kuroko. Like I know there's this one guy who's that one guy? It's like I've seen. It's like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, something like that. That crazy.
Borrow.
He's a crazy.
Borrow, I think.
He reminds me of Aomine. You know,
Yeah,
that guy's
and these guys are shooting like 100% accuracy top right shots in from half the field, and it's like surely you shouldn't be able to do this.
Yeah.
But they just like they have their own power, they have their own skill, whatever.
Yeah.
Right, and it's like it's very unrealistic. But if you look at like, I'd say one of the bigger influencing animes in terms of sports, I'd say Haikyuu is probably the biggest.
100%. Yeah, I agree with that.
Because in terms of like if you were to go out and watch people play volleyball, you'll see resemblances to Haikyuu everywhere.
Bro, the amount of time, even when we play volleyball, we're trying to do the Kageyama Hinata.
Yeah, literally the shoots or like the rolling thunder, you know?
Yeah.
All those crazy stuff.
Even the blocking, even the serving with Oikawa's signature. Yeah.
A lot of it, I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of Haikyuu is very like basically everything in Haikyuu actually I'd say is realistic, right?
Yeah, it is.
Besides the ball spinning and stopping, it is technically illegal, but
yeah.
But in terms of realistic qualities, and I feel like you could also tell based off the fact that like if you look at volleyball in Japan versus like basically any other sport, volleyball is huge.
Yeah, and Japan's always been dominant.
They've always been good at volleyball, and in my opinion, they've probably been technically the best in the world.
I think Brazil's up there too, right? Brazil, Japan.
Well, obviously, like there's the Brazil, there's your Italy, but
even
those guys.
I think the U.S. team is pretty good too.
No, they're great. They're great. I'm talking technically, though, right? Because
you mean technical skills?
Like technical skills, like Japan is on top because they probably have one of the shorter teams, right? If you look at Yuji Nishida, right, one of the shortest players has like a 50-inch vertical, right? Yeah. That's literally Hinata's like clone. Or Hinata's his clone, technically.
Have you ever seen those videos on Instagram of this Japanese guy who like lives in like, you know, your typical Japanese house where it's like ceilings are kind of small. It's like the sliding door. This guy lives in an apartment that looks like that, but I don't know what his name is or the account name, but this guy does like box jump squats and he like his head top the ceiling. Like he's crazy. Like and he seems like an average height guy. Maybe he's tall, I don't know, but like he's like an average guy. But this guy's quads are crazy and he just like goes like when you load up to the ground, your butt touches the ground, you load up and you just it's crazy. Like he has buddies.
I feel like they're feeding Japanese like athletes like something crazy. Like these guys are different. Sure. I'm not gonna lie. Like look at them in any sport, they're just getting better and better and better. And honestly, like throws me off because it's like Japan is not like one of those countries where you'd be like see them to be like a powerhouse.
Like in terms of like how you look physically.
Yeah, right? Literally, yeah. Because they're a lot like physical wise, they're a lot smaller.
Yeah, I mean in terms of their body composition, you look at like the Nordic countries. I mean, okay, this might get into race a little bit, but like typically when you look at like endurance athletes, like runners, a lot of Africans are just like genetically they're built for running long distances, and that's just how they came up. And a lot of your Nordics people in like Norwegian, Norway, Sweden, Finland, they have like they're super tall and like it's the Viking culture, and I think in general like but
I wouldn't say it's really a racial thing, right? Like it's literally just how people are born, how people
and how over the course of hundreds
like their
of years,
structures, their shapes, whatever, right? It's just the way they're.
And I think now that Japan's now has been globalized for the last 100, 200 years, I think now you're seeing that there's a lot more people like Shohei Ohtani's like he's 6'5", he's tall as hell, he's a big dude, and typically Japanese people aren't that tall. I mean again, most people in Asia aren't that tall to begin with, but like seeing how just like dominant Japan has been in a lot of sports. Again, I don't think they're the best though. In baseball, I think they actually are the best country in the world now because they beat the U.S. in the World Tournament. I don't know what it's called. They beat them in the World Cup of baseball last year. And it was funny is Shohei Ohtani beat his teammate at the time, Mike Trout, who was I think arguably the best American. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I misquoted there. I know Aaron Judge is pretty good too on the Yankees, but Mike Trout was I think the best hitter at the time, and Shohei he pitched him out for like to win the game. It was crazy like that. Imagine like the irony. Like it's a perfect script writing. Like Japan beats the U.S., where the U.S. has historically been the best baseball nation of all like in history the last 100 years or so, and the best player in the world in Japan beats his teammate who's American. It's just like the best script of all. It's the best script writing of all time. So speaking of script, you know what anime I feel like has made like And I mean when I say massive, I mean like it's literally broke the internet. Like, well, at least for me, because I mean that's fear.
Well,
Huh?
I know because you're literally
Yeah,
like
and
a
I talk about
diehard.
it literally all the time. It's so crazy. I feel like my vocabulary has just evolved into just talking about Jujutsu Kaisen,
Mm.
and that's the anime that we're talking
The
about right now.
Gojo or no Sukuna
Gojo,
Part Two.
Sukuna, and you know what? We're not gonna spoil it, right? You know what? We're just gonna talk about anime only. We don't want to delve into manga stuff, even though we kind of both know, because we don't want some of the viewers who are watching this maybe to find out the hard way what happens, even though it's
Or,
probably
or
likely.
or we could just have like a spoiler alert
Yeah,
warning before.
but yeah, that too.
Yeah.
So I feel like with the release of the second season last year during the summer around this time, the Shibuya arc, and even before that, the Gojo and Geto and you know what?
Utah.
You would blow it up. Toji Zenin, Toji Fushiguro blew up the internet with his appearance in I think episode 4, I think, or episode 3 of the season 2. And literally, it sparked a whole. And we talked about, I think, the last episode. Literally, we were talking about Twan wanted to be like somebody, and not unfortunately, but I think a lot of guys who because think about it this way, I think it was a perfect storm. You had the gym culture of guys who just how many guys now do you know that are our age or a bit younger that just want to go to the gym because they feel like getting big muscles and hopping on trend maybe is gonna make them have the confidence and the suave that they never had.
That's a lot of people.
Everyone that I know is like, well, not everyone, but like a lot of people I know. I think in the high schoolers.
No, I
like that.
even I feel like us, we're trying to go to the
for
gym,
sure.
like obviously to look good. They're like that's all, right? Or not really that's all, but like a big portion of a reason as to why everybody goes to the gym.
To look good.
It's to look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have these just massive Gen Z young men that want to fill the void of what they think they lack in confidence. And you know what's crazy? You have that going on, which took off with Sam Sulek, I think, largely, because he's close to our age, and he's a guy that we look up to because he's so big. He's a Gen Z guy. He's so real. He's so honest about what he
authentic,
eats.
very authentic.
I think that's why he's so popular. And then you have Toji, who if you look at it, you know why he's so everyone loves him is because look at the typical look at Gojo, right? He's not skinny, but like most anime main characters or villains, like they're outpowered. But like minus Goku and Vegeta, most of them aren't like ripped or like big and like bulky, muscular. They're kind of like skinnier, more lean, more athletic. Like Ichigo or Naruto or even like Tanjiro from Demon Slayer, they're all kind of just like athletic and kind of skinnier. Whereas Toji's like this big 6'2" Japanese dude with a deep voice and like he's got like a cool haircut and he has like this cool like drip. Like his drip now, all these guys on TikTok are like, oh, I'm gonna put up in a black compressed shirt and those white parachute pants, and it's like that alongside with how good Shibuya arc was. Like honestly, it was like literally
goated. It was literally one of the most
when I
goated arcs.
say that like. You had a 10 out of 10 fight from the moment that Toji got summoned again to the ending of Sukuna Mahoraga. And even Eugene Mahito was a really good fight too.
Or even Sukuna versus what was his name? Jogo.
The amount of memes that popped out of that is crazy. Like every single fight in Shibuya, all the major fights had like you could look at each individual fight and you'd find like millions of memes that spawned out of that fight. Like Megumi versus his dad, Toji, that had a bunch of memes into it.
All right, Sam. I'm gonna stop you there. You know you're big. I know you're a big meme guy.
Yeah,
right.
True.
You love your pictures.
That's true.
Can you reenact your favorite pose?
So no,
I'm gonna need you to put the mic down and reenact.
No, I will. But like, here's the thing. I think it'd be funny if the viewers actually get some context behind the post. So basically, right. This is a spoiler warning. So if you haven't read the manga yet, skip to a minute after this. But basically, what happens is Sukuna takes over Megumi in the manga, right? So he has a signature pose, but this is why it's funny. Me, him, and one of our friends, Isaiah, we work at a job together over the past weekend. There's this girl that I was kind of eyeing that was at the job with us. And what happened is she'd bring in some plates because we look at a restaurant. She's a waitress. She'd bring in some plates in. And then I'm like, I'm like outing myself right now. Look at this. She bring plates with her and she give it to me. And this is the pose. I'll put it down. Put the mic down right now. It's like Sukuna hits this. Goes like the. so audio listeners, I kind of hit the Sukuna. Like, you can look it up. Just look up Megumi Sukuna poses, and you'll probably see it. But so notice how my hands are extended like that. What I'll do is I just look at her. Like when she came to come with the
That's
plates,
how we took the plates.
I didn't even say that. I'm like just like I didn't even say that here. I'm not gonna say her name. I'm like here X, give me the plate. I didn't even say that. I just put my hand out like that, and she took it, and then she just gave it to me. And like that to me,
Well, that means you're up. You won.
I feel like that honestly is the best riz because I'll tell you what. On Tuesday when I work with her again, I'm not gonna if she sees this, she's gonna know who it is if she sees this. But now you know I feel like I was in the back. I was in the place where the dishwasher is, and then I was helping her clean up some tables again. She had the plates, put it down again. This time I was cleaning myself, but she's like, you know what? She's like, I'll take it from you. Like I got it. So I'm like, damn. Like it must have worked. The Sukuna Riz is real. Like everyone talks about Gojo being like the Riz master, and he's a very good looking guy. I mean, fiction wise, but like low key, like Sukuna, he has that drip. Like he has that Riz. He has the aura. I feel like Sukuna is very very overlooked in terms
So
of
like, okay, I'm the girl now, right? This is Tuesday.
okay.
Like, I'm coming with plates. What are you doing?
So what I'll do is right. I just like I pretend. Actually, no, I can't really pretend. But like I'll do like I pull up like I just like look. I kind of look to the side of you, and
I give you the plates. I'd be like, oh my god, you're so fine.
I don't even acknowledge it. I just walk away. Like like that's like the nonchalant dreadhead shake.
Like that light skinned dreadhead type beat, you know?
Yeah, it's like bah, God. You know what I'm talking about? Like that's the yeah. But basically, that's kind of what.
I can't pretend I didn't hear that.
Basically, that was kind of what was going on. That's how. So for viewers, now you just got to witness what almost a year of JJK brain rot does to a man.
This
on
is
TikTok.
this is Sahan's Riz, guys. So if you guys ever see him and you know he's eyeing you down, just be prepared.
No. Just let's say we're out in public, we're in the city, pick up some garbage or some some recycling stuff, pick it up, walk over to me, and I instantly understand you. So I just put my hair up like that, and I'm just gonna put my hand out. I won't even look at you. I look perpendicular to you, and then
That's Fushiguro right there.
and you're gonna give me the plates, or no, give me the garbage and the litter, and I'm gonna put it into the I'm gonna save the environment and also steal your heart at the same time.
So comment if his Riz would work on you.
I don't even think girls have to comment that. I feel like it's just given.
It's just you just
no,
know
because
already.
you know what's crazy? It's like this Riz, and I'll explain scientifically, like for like 20 seconds, why it works. Because think about it this way: modern day dating culture, right? With after the Me Too, and we've also discussed this before, it's super hard to go up to a girl and ask her for your number because again, you don't want to like cross the boundaries. Yeah, so you basically don't even say anything. You just walk up to her, make sure you maintain enough personal because you don't want to get in her space, right? That again could be considered sexual harassment. So you have enough space between you and the woman, and you just kind of look to the side a little bit, kind of give your hand out. And honestly, I just thought about this. You know what? You don't even need anything in the girl's hand. You just go like that. She gives you your phone. Oh my gosh! Like you know how good that is. Like you don't have to do anything. You just like look up. You go like that, and it's like okay. I understand that for a lot of people with social anxiety, that could be a bit overwhelming. But like, am I doing anything wrong? I'm not even in your space. I'm just giving my hand to you. I'm not touching you. I'm not saying anything to you. If you don't want it to give you, you just walk to my side and you just keep walking. Like you don't even have to acknowledge me. Like I don't really acknowledge you. I'm just like, you just give me your phone, right? And then she's gonna give it to me. She's gonna give me the phone.
Yeah.
And it's raps. Like what more could you want from as a young woman in this 21st century, right? With how bad the quote unquote dating market is. What more could you want from a guy to just ease into your personal space, give you enough boundary, like Gojo, limitless. I'm pretending that the girl's limitless, so I'm just gonna like, just give me your stuff, real quick. Give me the phone.
All right, let's move on from this topic. Somebody's a little too brain rotten.
Well, I'm telling you, viewers can actually see, like in real time, how the JJK brain rot vocabulary has got to my brain.
He's actually bad.
And he knows because the group chat knows that I actually communicate solely through Mega. Oh wait, shoot. Okay, so spoiler again. If you haven't in the manga, skip like 10 seconds. The group chat knows how much I speak solely through Mega Misukuna poses. Like I just like there's a situation, I just drop a picture, like this is me for real, and I just drop a picture, and that's really how I communicate. I don't even say anything, no context, nothing. I just drop the picture, and that's how I communicate. I feel like honestly,
okay, no more. This guy's been going on about this for the past like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Anywho, okay, let's just completely change the topic because I promise you, he's not gonna stop talking about it.
Okay, so so JJK is about curses. So I think this is a good topic to converge on. So why don't we both discuss a scary experience that we've both experienced, and I'll let you go first. we can both talk about something paranormal, maybe mysterious that we will experience in our life, and maybe give some commentary on that. So
here's my. It's kind of like, I feel like you'll understand if you're from Toronto area. Maybe even like not just Toronto. If you're like Markham, Scarborough, in those ends, right? Old Finch Bridge, probably the most well-known horror area in our area, right? Is known for, I think it's on your third visit, right? If you were to drive over it for the third time, or is it just if you drive?
No, I think it's just like
this is generally
be on the bridge
at
12
3.
a.m.
Is it 12?
I think it's 12 or 3. Just doesn't really matter.
It's either 12 or 3 a.m. and you sing happy birthday
3 times.
3 times.
Yeah.
Apparently, there is a little girl who actually died there.
Yeah, I don't know if this, maybe that might be the only true part of that story where like the woman kind of drowned, or the girl drowned in the river, because there's river, the Rouge River goes underneath the Old Finch Bridge. So yeah.
So she haunts the bridge basically
At night, yeah.
So if you guys drive down old Finch Bridge and you're feeling courageous, and it's past 12 a.m., let's say, it's either 3 a.m. or 12 a.m. We'll clarify in the video.
Yeah.
But let's say it's 12 a.m., right? And you're driving past Old Finch Bridge. Stop there, get out, and sing happy birthday 3 times. And apparently you will hear someone scream, or you'll see some sort of paranormal activities, right? And I think we've done it once or twice.
I think because we used to go a lot in grade 12, and
But
we used to always go in that area.
Yeah.
Scarborough, near Toronto Zoo, and then I think a couple times we got past pretty late, so I think we kind of like just got. I don't know if we got the car. I think we were just in the car. I turned it off, and I'm like, "Yo, let's sing happy birthday real quick." And I think the other passengers in the car were pretty scared, which I'm like, I don't know why you're scared.
And we did it.
And what's the worst a girl can do to you?
And we heard the scream. We were there. We opened our windows, and we just heard, like, I'm not gonna lie, it was actually crazy, right? And this is why I'm bringing this up. Like, we heard the scream.
Yeah.
No, we didn't hear the scream.
Okay, that's what we did. Yo, I'm gonna talk about a crazy, not a conspiracy, but it's a crazy horror story. Have you heard about Tim the Bear?
I think I have, but like I'm not like too...
Okay, so Tim the Bear, right? So there's a and this is like a Toronto only urban legend, okay? So in the woods of Rouge Urban National Park, which we frequent because that's the place we go sledding off in the wintertime, there's reports brown bears have been extinct in Ontario, I think, since the early 20th century. But a couple of years back, there was reports of this rogue brown bear, right? And basically, what this brown bear is, right, is that the Toronto Zoo's like right next to Urban National Park. So what happens is, right, that there's crayfish in the river right in the park. Happens is a couple years back, remember the black bear that was in Greensboro a couple years back? So they escaped, right? But what people didn't know, and they kept under wraps, is that there was a brown bear that escaped too. But they didn't say anything. But if you go to Toronto Zoo right now, you'll find that like there's only one brown bear there, but there used to be 2. People notice this, but they don't say anything because it's under wraps, and Toronto Zoo is the one that's coming out. What happens is the brown bear escaped into the park because it's the only wooded area in Toronto, and like again, it's pretty close by. They're not going to go anywhere else. So the crayfish in the lake, the brown bear, and remember that we went crayfishing fishing one time, barely caught anything. It's because the brown bear has actually declined the crayfish population by a significant amount. So basically, the properties of eating crawfish to a brown bear has given it higher intelligence. It's increased its cognitive processes. So all in all, the ultimate point of the story is Tim the Bear. There's been a lot of disappearances in that park recently, the last couple of years. No one says anything about it. No one ever knows where it is. But the urban legends, if you go on Reddit on Toronto, and if you look up forums online, you'll find out that everyone knows deep down that it's Tim the Bear that's taking out these hikers and these people who were wandering in the park out past too late. Because when we went, what's crazy is I remember when we went the other, like a couple months ago.
Crayfish hunting, right?
Yeah, last summer. But there was like this big log that was turned over, but had like a big dent in it. Like it was a crazy dent. I know axing, like you can't, like it's illegal. You can't go thing anyway, and they do a good job at regulating that. Yeah. So it's like, what a black bear the black bear cannot possibly make that bar, because I know for a fact the log was thick, it was really big, it was heavy, and there's no way a black bear could do that damage. I know it's a brown bear, and I'm like, that's Tim the Bear. Like I know for a fact it exists. So For anyone living in Scarborough that lives near the park, now you know you've been warned that there's a rogue brown bear lurking in the parks. Name is Tim the
It's
Bear.
crazy.
And honestly, truth is scarier than fiction. That's why I'm saying like Tim the Bear is a real bear and it's haunting the parks of Rouge River National Park. You know, so it's a conspiracy theory. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So
It's actually pretty crazy.
It is pretty scary.
Yeah.
So again, that brings up conspiracy theories. So I feel like if you have any conspiracy theories, I have a few, but if you want to share some conspiracy theories, you can go right ahead.
No, you go ahead. Honestly, I think you have a couple more than I
Okay.
do.
So this is a conspiracy theory that I've thought of. I don't know if this has been published. It probably is common knowledge, quote unquote. But I'll put on the floor. Have you ever heard of the evil genius theory?
No, actually, I haven't.
So I'll keep it brief. You notice. So like, what are the smartest animals that you can think of besides human beings?
Probably like the whales or like
Killer whales.
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Or like dolphins.
Like
yeah.
chimpanzees.
Monkeys.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? If you look at their behaviors, right? Not everyone, not all the animals in the species, but like a lot of them exhibit very violent, quote unquote, what we consider morally evil behaviors. Killer whales will literally kill seals for fun just because they're bored. I've never seen an animal with that, like, besides the killer whales and other small animals, that kill animals for fun. So the point of this theory is that this conspiracy theory is that being intelligent, the more intelligent you are, the more inherently evil that you can be. Not saying that you are evil, but the more intelligent that you are, the greater evil that you can commit. So my point is, the evil genius theory is just a theory that suggests that the more intelligence an animal gets, the more likely it is that it's going to be an evil one.
For sure.
Because you look at a lot of these animals that are intelligent, they commit heinous acts. Again, I don't think a lot of these animals understand human morality the same way that we do. But if you look at the patterns, like we already know how bad we can be. We don't talk about that.
If you look at the more intelligent humans in this world, right?
They've actually, like, if you look
some of them are very.
No, and it's not even like that's not even a conspiracy. Like, if you look at a lot of the smartest people in the world, a lot of them are like messed up.
Yeah,
they're messed
they've
up
done
people.
some craziness.
So again, that's my basis for the evil genius theory, where it's like the smarter you are, the more violent you are, the more that you can understand the world, the more that you can realize that you can control things, the more that you are like, oh, I can control other people or other animals, and that's why I'm going to do it. And not that I'm vegan, not that they're vegan either, but like I think this theory is also kind of why maybe you find out that vegans go like, oh, this is why humans are evil, because we, quote unquote, enslave cows and sheep and then we eat them. But I don't think it's the same thing. But that's a different topic for a different day. But I guess you can see the kind of the logical reason.
The resemblance.
The resemblance between how killer whales can kill seals for fun and other dolphins for fun, and where we kind of also kill animals for fun too, because we will go hunting too. So it's a pretty interesting. I don't think it's a conspiracy more than it's an observation, but I think it's interesting because a lot of people don't point it out. So I feel like it's a pretty cool little conspiracy / observation that you can observe in the animal kingdom. So
yeah, for sure. And okay, I kind of agree with you because I feel like obviously there's a food chain, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like the higher you go on the food chain, the animals that you see get smarter and smarter, right? So if you look at the bottom of a food chain, for example, there's like flies or like,
mostly plants.
Yeah, plants.
Plants it's like
plants is probably the bottom tier.
It's like it's like small bugs.
Yeah.
Insects.
And then the higher you go, you'll see like your tigers or your whales or
eagles and whatnot.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. And if you look at like eagles are a great example because the way they hunt is so smart. The way they kill animals is very smart because obviously they could fly or like they glide, right? But I think the way that they operate is very smart. And I think you are right in a sense that yes, smarter animals tend to be more evil.
Like they commit more like violent acts.
But in certain circumstances, I feel like it's hard to actually analyze and understand how that works because, like, if you look at a black widow spider, for example, right? Like I feel like a black widow spider,
too,
the way that they work is, they're very smart in the way they kill.
Yeah, they'll
So, like-
trap their maybe spiders. They'll trap their flies and insects. And
Yeah,
whatnot.
and not just that, right? If they see a human as a threat, for example, they won't directly approach the human. They'll sneak into like their shoe, right? Because I think if they poison you, it's like 8 seconds or something,
I don't
or
think
like a minute.
That's it. But thing is definitely life threatening. Yeah, I
It's-
think you'll die. Yeah,
you will die. You will die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can die. Yeah.
And in that similar sense, I'm pretty sure Black Widow spiders probably taken out a lot of.
No, because the thing is, they are pretty like to actually provoke it, you have to do quite like you have to actually go out of your way to actually like try to like.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but
So if you actually gonna walk by you, it's not gonna bite you.
yeah,
Like,
but I wouldn't
yeah.
say their intentions would be evil, right?
No, and that's what I mean by like intelligent. Like if you look at most animals that are predators, they're not gonna kill animals for fun. They
Mm.
usually kill because here's the thing, right? If you look at like this is relating to like thermodynamics and losing weight, like calories in, calories out, right? So the basis of you hunting an animal is that like the calories you expend by chasing a prey or hunting it down
Mm.
is less than the amount of calories you get by eating it, right? That's why lions will go out of their way to like hunt a gazelle or hunt a buffalo for like miles, or wolves will like chase down a moose for miles because then they know that even though they burn a bunch of calories, by the time they get to the moose, they can like fill up their belly
Yeah,
once
for
again,
sure.
right?
Yeah,
But like animals like killer whales and like dolphins, they will expend calories just because they can. Like they don't even care
for sure.
because they know how smart they are. They know that they can kill an animal really easily because they're that smart, and they'll kill an animal just because they want to. And,
Yeah.
and to me, that shows a level of intelligence that goes beyond just because most animals operate that way, where they think of, okay, if I lose a limb or if I expend too much energy, I'm going to die because I don't have much to eat. But these killer whales will just kill animals just because they want to, as they can. And it's like it's crazy because like most animals won't even think that way, and that's kind of why I find that a lot of animals are like super smart. They're like not. I don't want to say evil because it's like I don't want to assign morality to an animal because again that's pretty like disingenuous. So like they're how they think and how they act and how they behave. But if you look at how violent they are, how even sometimes nonsensical compared to how most animals behave, you'll find that the more intelligent the animal, the more unlike or the more different they are to like other animals, other similar species or similar environment. Like if you look at an orca, like a killer whale, to a great white shark. Like a great white shark and orca are similar size, similar in like what they eat and how where they rank in the food chain. But the orca is so much better than the shark at killing animals, and they're so much better at it, and they were much smarter. That there's a clear difference between how the orca acts versus the great white shark, for example.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but again, it's an arguable topic. It's a conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
it's hard to tell, right? Like you can't. You could gauge some animals for sure, but there's certain animals that you can't, right? Like I would say, for example, there could be a more stronger animal that has less evil intentions, or sorry, a more intelligent animal.
It has less, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, right? So it's hard to really gauge it, but I do agree with you in a sense that when a animal does understand that they have that power, they will, flaunt it. They'll abuse the power a little more than
For sure.
than a lot of the weaker animals. And yeah, but anywho, I think that's a great place to wrap this podcast up.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a great conversation. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah.
And we'll catch you guys next time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. We see you next week. And just remember, if you want a girl's number, just give me your phone.